Welcome back to ESL Pro League Season 8, where we're strapped in now for our final two best-of-ones of the night. It is going to be the Polish side of AGO facing off versus G2, Jake.
Yes, it is, Jack. Been some exciting games so far. Seen a lot of some heroic performances and some not-so-heroic performances, I'm afraid. Been an up-and-down day for them specifically, but moving on, we've got AGO and G2 today. Two teams in quite different scenarios, really. AGO hanging on for dear life at the bottom of the table, G2 really just trying to secure that playoff space.
It's interesting as well, because obviously something we touched on lightly at the start of the day is the roster changes that were announced there for the G2
alleged
roster.
roster changes.
Yeah.
Nothing confirmed as of yet, but obviously the story is Existence and Smith's out, Jax and Lucky in, which is a very interesting situation for G2, who haven't really lackluster with this new lineup. You know, completely hyped up with Existence coming back, look to be the start of something fantastic potentially, but it's all sort of just petered out into nothing. They've done all right in Pro League, but that is the only victory they've really had since this lineup's inception. Yeah,
it has been a bit bizarre for them, really. And more so than anything, the interesting question to be raised there is the fact that Existence individually hasn't looked too bad on this roster. No. Obviously, we don't really know what's going on there in terms of calling style or how things might be working with that core 5 inside the team. But from our perspective of just witnessing the games they've been playing, he's actually been landing his shots, individually looking quite skilled and refreshed going into it. But are we going to see any of that today?
It could be a bit of impatience from G2, as in the organization, as we saw. I believe it was Ocelot complaining quite publicly on Twitter that the results just were not good enough.
He's been very forward and very open about his faults with the current roster, and has made that pretty publicly clear that he was not happy with the results they were coming in. So potentially, you know, the decision there to try and change things and restructure the team could have been from a management standpoint. Shocks, though, in the backline, Jake, in this one, as the rest of AGO are already making their move up towards the site. Existence will get the opening kill. Shocks goes down as Furlan will clear the angle. Kenny S can't do too much whatsoever there, as he will quickly hit the deck, and it is all on Body to try and eliminate the 3 remaining players for AGO.
Yeah, that round really fell apart after Shocks had absolutely no impact in the game. He had all the info in the world that he could possibly want. 3 CT players were managed to stack on the A site. So essentially you've got 4 players all towards that A bomb site, and AGO were just able to run in there, shoot Shocks when he went in for the backstab, and no issue really for them, which is just not good enough. Not a good start for G2.
It isn't ideal. It's not really the way you want this opening start here to go. And for AGO, wins are pretty much a must. They're trying to scrape out the auto-relegation spot if possible. Obviously 14th place right now, Jake, which is really them teetering their life in Pro League. And this is the first season they've had as well. So if they're instantly relegated back out, it will be quite unfortunate for them. And they've had an unlucky season in terms of losing players to, obviously, VP. We saw a lot of things changing. Taul eventually leaving the team as well towards the mid-portion of the season. We then seen Caper come in. And he's not looked too bad. He's definitely started to reinvigorate the roster a little bit, but it isn't the team that we saw at the start of the year that were potentially looking like maybe the new hit in Poland.
Yeah, it's been a turbulent season, I suppose. And hopefully, for their sake, they can just grab some results here right at the end of the season, just to squeeze their way into the safety zone. I'm sure they won't mind playing in that MDL/EPL relegation tournament, as they played in it last time and came through it. So as long as they don't get instantly relegated into MDL, they should feel good enough as a team to get through that and stay in the Pro League, because they worked so hard to get here.
That's the thing. You really have to fight a big fight to get into it. It's much harder these days to get into Pro League. Yeah. So much competition. You know, there's a lot of hoops you need to jump through. And we're seeing now the relegation being bigger and bigger every time, especially for MDL as well. Both of those leagues are quite turbulent in terms of keeping you in, so you have to have a great season off the back of it. Unfortunately for them, the timing wasn't amazing of all the changes, but it's a good start versus G2 so far. They've been able to pick up the initial 2 rounds, Jake.
Interesting odds there. I wouldn't favour G2 as much as those odds suggest, however. we'll have to see how they get on during the rest of this game. A bit of a B stack coming out for the CTs. Did look like AGO wanted to go for maybe a bit of a fast B execute, but they've halted in their tracks so far. Just going for a bit more map control up connector there, making sure G2 are still guessing where the attack's coming in. However, they are just falling back towards this B site, and if that's the case, G2 are more than ready for it.
55 seconds on the clock into round 3. Already no utility
Boost coming up as well, I think.
G2. They've only got the 2 flashes, Jake, so it's quite awkward. Ooh. The initial push as well. Furlan and Cape are going to go down a matter of seconds. Kenny just able to carry on. The MAC-10 reigning so supreme there, as he's able to get a huge playoff into the round. Finds himself the double kill. It's all up to PHR now to blow them away. Kills Kenny S. Can go for the bomb plant. If he does look up towards up, he should spot out the head. The tag is there, but Existence with the M4 is going to have higher stopping power. And he proves that. Finds the frag. The first round will go the way of G2.
Not as clean as they would have hoped for, especially with that early fights going in G2's way. You know, the push came in and they won the initial 2 frags. And from there, it's sort of just managed to fall apart with those SMGs coming in and raging absolute havoc across that site there. And now G2 with a really scrappy buy, whereas for AGO, that was pretty much just a throwaway round. Bit of a bonus there with the SMGs, and they've got all the utility, all the weapons that they could ever want for. Coming out here, speeding things straight up with some A-long control, taking toilets. And already Existence just falling back and doesn't even manage to get back to site before he's taken down. Big rotation already coming in from G2 though. They've stacking all 4 players. I really like this decision, but doesn't even look like they have a chance to fight through those smokes. Smith's on the other hand, he's got 2. Kenny S in the back lines. And just like that, it all falls apart for AGO.
Yeah, the Polish side not looking too fantastic there. Kenny as well, able to recover himself an AWP at the end of that round. Will be very lovely. He'll be able to keep on to that weapon and wield it going forth from this point. Round 5, 2-2. They're all tied up. His first few rounds have been relatively fast, rather.
SMGs on the side of G2 now, hoping to farm up some cash, but will be met with some head armor on the T side, so maybe not the best investment. And another really quick round coming in. Body has it all to do on this B bomb site. However, he's getting bailed out by his teammates.
Ooh, Furlan. The knee shots coming out. He's able to get the first elimination. There is a response from Shox back on the MP9. But this round has started to fall to pieces for them relatively quickly off the back of that. Shox and Body will be the only 2 casualties there for G2. The rest of the squad of AGO were wiped out quite fast.
And these fast executes really aren't paying off at all for AGO. I mean, they get around the site, but it seems G2 have the composure to just pick them off as they come through those smokes. And interesting start to the game, really. Very explosive from AGO. But back onto those pistols now. Not as much investment. Finally taking the hit and deciding to save. G2 going to hopefully build up a bank here. So it's not looking too great for them either. Kenny S playing very reserved from the start of the round here. Not giving these pistols any sort of chance. Came under a bit of scrutiny recently. Over at CS Summit. Bit of drama there. Everyone loves a bit of drama. Bit of criticism as well from Steel. Any opinions on that, chat?
I mean, it's interesting. The whole situation with Kenny right now as a whole is a bit weird, right? Because it's just the sort of play style that he's bringing to the table doesn't really work as well as it used to anymore. And that's fundamentally just because the game's changed in the way it works. But he hasn't really adapted to that level. Some quite unorthodox plays have been coming out from him, and that is, you know, sort of the reason why Steel was quite harsh on some of the things we saw. But I feel like it is necessary at times. If you don't have that criticism, you're not going to realize potentially you're doing something wrong. And if you get to a point where in your own head you think, I'm making the right call, this is the correct decision to play, and no one ever calls you on it, why would you ever improve?
Yeah, the argument that Steel himself makes mistakes, there go, you can't criticize him, doesn't really make any sense when...
But then how can an analyst desk ever comment on a player?
How can you say anything because you're not the best Counter-Strike player in the world. Doesn't really make too much sense.
You can still notice a mistake and realize something could be better, or this is what's, holding you back potentially. But it's also that, that's tunnel vision. If you're the person making those plays each time, you're only going to know what you know from your own head, right? If someone can see it from a bird's eye perspective and go, all right, that would have made much more sense to do this. Clearly there's a reason why.
However, moving on. The guns are coming back out for AGO. The AWP on Sparrow, hoping to deal some damage versus Kenny S. Is only a glass cannon, so not ideal. But hoping to make it work. Bit of long toilets control coming out. They are going to face Shox, who does pick up his own first frag. Molly out. Ooh, takes off Grubby as well, who was sort of really tentative pushing through that Molly there. Caper couldn't really push with him. Shox might even be able to get out here. Is punished by Sparrow. Meanwhile, PHR picks up a frag over at the other bomb site. So from a really good situation there from G2, it's all even Stevens now, Jack.
Yeah, left in the 3 versus 3. Health advantage is in favour of the gamers' 2 side, though, as they're waiting for the push to come up towards the A site. Cape are going to go for the smoke over towards A. In reality, his teammates are getting ready to go for the B attack. We have seen the rotate come around from Smiths.
Yeah, Existence, really nice bit of play here. Walking straight through toilets. He's got all the map control, all the info. Although Kenny S might get caught out here. Ooh. He has no idea.
Wasn't ready for that at all. Didn't even have a sneaking suspicion they were able to push up like that. And now they're on the site. Smiths, if you could deny the bomb plant, it would be lunacy.
Oh, that's huge.
And he will find both of the frags. That can be the AWP save as well to pass back over to Kenny into the next round. And G2 will shut that one down.
Yeah, strong start from G2. Looks a bit scrappy at times, but they've been shutting down AGO consistently now. It's only been those first couple of rounds off the back of the pistol that AGO have looked dangerous. Not the start they would have wanted.
The worrying factor is, with all of the potential debate that is up in the air with the team right now, right, with what has come out, how would that affect a player like Existence and Smiths, both of them having to realize that and potentially going into it, we see what players do with it in one or two ways, where they really try and show their worth and prove, I am worth keeping on this team. I can do so much. Or some people get quite disheartened by it.
Yeah, you never know how these deals even go down. It could be the case where they say, okay, we'll play out EPL. If you do exceptionally well, we'll keep this roster. I believe it was Zitnik who was given an ultimatum back in the day where he was told you have to improve or you might get replaced, and he went on to become one of the best players in the world. So you never know how these instances really affect players, but another round going in the way of G2, just a nice easy cleanup. Yeah, Kenny S apparently signing a new contract for G2. So extending his life there. Yeah,
matching what the other players actually signed initially, because he did only sign for a small period of time, and there was obviously everyone talking about what does that mean for Kenny, where is he going to go, is this not really a team that he wants to be on? If he has decided to re-sign, then potentially means that there is more to come out of the squad, and Kenny, are we going to see potentially some more of that old school style to come back through if he can try and get himself to the form that he once had, because he was phenomenal.
Yeah. Absolute exceptional skill level. Just absolutely dominating the scene. Back in 2014 was just a force to be reckoned with. And over the years, he's dropped off as teams have improved how they played as a team. They've managed to shut down those solo warp plays a lot better than they used to back in the day. And he can't get away with a lot of the tricks that he used to pull out. He can't go for as many refaces as he does. The perfect example is the AWPers such as Device, who plays a much more conservative style of CS now. He's not going for the flashy plays all the time. He's not trying to win the game off his back. And that could be something that Kenny S has to develop. He is going to walk into 2 players here. Doesn't actually wait to see if there's any more, and is punished for it. Meanwhile, on the other side of the bomb site, AGO are walking in, and it's only body here.
Because of this, they've lost Kenny towards A. The rotate can come around, but they're really just devoting one man. Luckily, it's body, and he can be crisp with the AK, but Sparrow will shut him down with the AWP. A showstopper, as his pulse will flatline off the back of that connection. Existence, going to see some feet and blow the body to bits. That is Grubby that goes down. Bomber's only just been planted. Big Kev in the 1 versus 2. He hits his head and says, no, I've had enough.
Taking a blow there. Maybe a bit dizzy.
Yeah. seeing stars, he will force to save that one. So a third round will now be picked up from AGO. And yeah, it is very interesting because we're sort of seeing that now with AWPers where they're realizing you're better off being more of a hybrid player, being able to wield not only the AWP, but specialize in the rifle and AWP, and also play more as, you know, it's because Device's AWPing style, he is more of a rifler in terms of how he actually even uses the weapon now. It is just based off those percentages on how he'll go for a peak, always very calculated. He's never really going to go for an overface. If he does, it has to be pretty set in stone that he is going to get more of a reward than the risk that he's running. And that's the difference in style. I mean, if you think back to how it used to be, it was always high tempo, high aggression. That was what the big play was. That was what the AWP was designed for, right? Now, it's about having that calculated AWP peak. It's about having the slower face and using it in times when it's direly necessary.
Exactly. Although one of the major points as to why that works so well in Astralis is...
because Shox has timed out.
I guess Shox has timed out.
Oh no, he's just AFK.
You know, he's just playing from sight this round. He doesn't really have to do anything too crazy. Sparrow must have got tagged and mollied there. Not ideal. But as I was saying, it works so well for Astralis just because the team itself works so beautifully together. Everyone's role is fully just realised. Everyone knows what they're doing. Everyone plays it to perfection. And it's just a sight to behold. So even if Kenny S perfected his AWPing, you still need the rest of G2 to start playing perfect CS as well.
We need to see that synergy come back, and it's the synergy we used to see from the French scene quite a lot that seems to have dropped off. The teamwork isn't as fluid as it used to be, and that's something that potentially I think people thought that Existence could bring back to the squad.
Yeah.
And it's a shame we haven't really seen it start to bloom. Meanwhile, back in the action though, round 10 now, push coming out, back towards the A site. They've got the toilets control. The Polish side just setting themselves up. In terms of utility, they've got the free flashbangs, smoke and a Molotov they can cast over and then begin to kick this one off. Kenny is blinded, forced to just hold the angle on the re-extension. We'll get the kill on Caper. Furlan has been picked to pieces there by Existence. Grubby will get one execution, Jake, but can he really get too much more? Everyone is surrounding him now.
Yeah, just getting picked off there. You really have to hope for just 2 clean entries there when you're running into the bomb site with 3 players left. Not really much hope when you all just sort of get picked apart. And AGO, they're struggling here, Jack. They just can't find a consistent way through G2's CT defense. It's looking really painful for them. Back down to the pistols after getting hard reset instantly after winning that first gun round for them. And G2 are in a wonderful position just to stamp out the rest of this game and work towards securing that playoff spot, which they've done quite well to get into that position as of yet. As we've seen some teams in this season of Pro League just fall off. You know, we see FaZe not being able to make it. Fnatic have looked atrocious online.
Somehow ridiculous on LAN.
Somehow, yeah. Absolute resurgence from them.
Ooh, Furlan. Cheeky deagle shot, but there's the response that you expect. Existence going to pop off his head, and that'll be another round picked up. 8-3 now. And this is a very, very quick half, really, all things considered. 12 rounds into the game already. It hasn't been live too long here, Jake. A lot of these have been either rapid pushes coming out from AGO or G2 just thwarting them when it comes to the pushes and being able to deny anything of the sort. There is a reinvestment coming back out, though. No armor for Furlan, and he's got 1,000.
Ooh.
That's a bit cuckoo.
He's doing his best Jesper impersonation.
Just the AK, no armor.
You hate to see that in a game that matters so much for them. I guess he just hasn't pressed his bind. Little ride on the swing there.
A little one, just to set us up for this round.
Just a little teaser. I would have gone for the slide myself. Much better than the swing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh. Well, they're sliding their way back into the round, Jay, because the excitement will begin. PHR and Sparrow find a kill apiece, and this is a good way to at least open it up. They've got some map control here to play with as well, and you can see the CTs. I mean, they're really nowhere near that B site. They've got the full rotate to go for. Existence is pushing up to try and get the info, though, but they are gambling the fact that this could be a play towards A.
Yeah, it's the first time we've really seen AGO win those opening duels, really. Kenny S. Smith's just getting dropped on either side of the map. Pretty awkward for G2, and looks like the save should be called here. Their money's not too hot themselves. Could potentially set up for some aggressive exit frags, but if you're body, if you're shocks, you really want to be saving.
Furlan?
Well, at least it didn't matter. At least it didn't matter.
Okay.
Hopefully someone tells him going into the next round, because obviously he'll survive and he just wouldn't ever think about having to rebuy armor. Although he might have noticed it then. It was my screen shook quite a bit there. I wonder why that was.
Yeah, you might remember the reason of why that's actually occurred, as that will be another round now picked up for AGO, giving themselves a 4th. We'll go 8-4, Jake. So a 4-round lead currently for G2. We're getting close to the end of the first half now. G2, with the double AWP setup still in commission, they're able to rebuy the rifles around it. So they still have the bank to play with. It's not like they're going to be down and out going into the last few rounds.
Yeah, Furlan fully equipped now. Hasn't forgotten that Kevlar in the bank. Triple AWP Jack.
The Hydra. I didn't realize that was actually coming out.
Hydra AWP. Don't see that every day. Existence rolling back the years to his source days.
Big
that
Kev.
big green gun.
Yeah. We used to
aggressive as well.
see him tear open some skulls on Nuke Jake, but this time he's going to be doing it on Overpass.
Meanwhile, they're actually walking out monster.
Find the first. Oh, the double peek as well. Kenny needs to do some damage. Jake finds the first, goes for the wide swing around the no-scope. That's what you want to see. Kenny starting to perform once again. The vintage play from big man Kenny S.
That is beautiful. That is just disgusting. The no-scope into that despicable flick shot. How's that man do it?
I don't know. Shattering his wrist on the flicks, apparently, as it falls now into Kenny hungering for the quad kill. 55 seconds left on the clock. Caper outside of Monster slowly moves up, but it depends on the timing. He's scoped in, he's not ready for it, but on the reface misses the shot. It wasn't meant to be. Luckily, though, you had 3 AWPs, so one of them will pick it up.
Yeah, shame they can't take any other AWPs into the next round, as I'm sure Existence would have liked to play with that AWP one more round. But he's going to give his up. Probably a reasonable decision, you know. Kenny S, Existence. Which one do you really want AWPing, Jack?
Probably Existence, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, round 14. 9-4. This aggression's going to come out. Did see them getting ready to try and go for the wide swing there to see if you can get the early pick-off towards Connector.
That smoke's not ideal, though. Although it doesn't look like they're going to be punished for it. Seems like a weird sort of default AGO keep coming out with. That there's just aggression all over the map. They pressure B, they pressure underground, they pressure A long. But it hasn't been working out. Furlan is creeping up. Meanwhile, Grubby picks off that frag. And there, Furlan already taking a lot of damage. Does win that fight versus Existence, though.
That's not great. He is going to be able to carry on pushing up as well. Try and go in for the backstab here. The frag will be found by Body. Takes a small sliver of HP off of him as he will lose 20. Smith's ready for the monster push as he was going to try and extinguish him, but it does not work out. PHR gets the frag. Body with the trade back. Kenny S from the elevated angle.
He's seen him.
He has a sneaking suspicion of what is about to go down here. Doesn't really want to run the risk on the overextension, Jake. Just holds for the meantime. Body's quite low as well, and he's now actually been smoked off. Looked like he wanted to go straight through, but instead he'll be going straight down, dead. Eliminated by PHR. Body in a 1v2. 19 HP, no real chance. You might want to just get the AWP back and go away.
Going for the ace, though. I think there's a kit on Kenny S's body. Unless he is just looking for the AWP. There was a kit there and a smoke. But yep, sensible decision. Take that AWP and run. Gonna be an awkward buy going into the next round, though, for G2.
The cash distribution isn't great. It's really quite broken. I mean, there's no consistency there at all. So in terms of what they're actually going to get out, it's going to be restricted no matter what, really.
Yeah, unfortunately for them, it's going to be pistols and a couple of SMGs sprinkled across, I suppose. Probably drop that AWP over towards Kenny S. Maybe see if he can get something done early on. But other than that, AGO, they've set themselves up perfectly to grab that 6th round at the end of this first half.
It's Kenny being very influential right now. And that does sort of come down to the rounds we witnessed now towards the B site as well. Crazy play with situations like that. But it is one of those where how many rounds are we going to see Kenny S get himself a hat-trick in that manner and win the round off his own back, right? Is it reliable? Can you see it happen consistently?
You don't want to structure your team around just someone going huge every single round. You need that consistency in place. It's fantastic when he can go off and have those impact rounds, but that's when that's to take you over the line. You know, you don't want that for every single round win. You want those bursts of brilliance to win those most important rounds. And he has been playing quite well so far. 19 frags already. Nice little boost coming out from Grubby. He's actually on a balloon.
Wow.
That's a strong balloon right there.
Oh, it's a very, very strong balloon.
A lot of helium.
Far too much helium, Jake. Doctors need it for specialist equipment. We need to stop wasting helium. It's an actual epidemic that does need to be looked into. Sparrow finding the first frag, though. Gets the headshot off and takes down Existence. Caper with a response there back on the Kenny S as well. 3-on-3 towards the site. Sparrow trying to sideline, execute Shoxy as he will go down, but Body will find the trade. Effective stuff with a Famous. Smiths coming up in the rear. He's heard him. Thunderfooting his whole way along, but I guess it works.
I suppose he knew he was tagged, and I suppose didn't expect that smoke. It was quite a weird position for that. However, the bomb has been in about just the above connector for the whole round, and PHR, he did walk into B earlier. He had to run straight back out and retrieve that bomb. He is coming into an empty B bomb site, so does secure the bomb plant. Gives himself the 1v2. Definitely winnable for him. No nades, has to rely purely on aim, and already getting tagged down to 50 HP.
It's not a great start for him. Definitely not the way he would like it to go. He's going to opt to play on the very close angle. Push up. You can hear the audio cues of them dropping as well. He's only heard one, goes for the extension, but it won't even matter. He has no idea where Smiths is because his brain doesn't work anymore, Jake. He's dead.
He is dead. Strong half, though, from G2. They look pretty solid on their CT defense.
Well,
no
10-5
real grabs.
half.
Yeah.
You know, you'll take that. It's pretty effective. Moving on to their T side now. Overpass is definitely a map of the past. They've proven they can construct their stuff on it. Haven't really seen them struggle too hard against that many opponents in the past. So to already secure 10 rounds, you only need 6 to close this out. The worrying factor is, though, for AGO, this is that chance to slip out and actually stop themselves being an automatic relegation, getting smaller and smaller as this game goes on.
Absolutely. They're going to feel like they need to grab at least one of these wins from this 2-map series, or else this could be straight relegation right back down into MDL, which is essentially ELO hell for these teams at the moment. There's so many good teams in MDL at the moment, and even just qualifying to Pro League again is just a mammoth of a task.
Yeah, it really is not going to be easy for you whatsoever. And it is going to be a shame if they lose their spot early on. They've had a couple of tasty games and a few upsets this season, interestingly enough, but the consistency that is so key just hasn't been there.
Absolutely, Jack. And looks like we are ready to kick things off into this second half. G2 hoping just to stamp out the rest of this game, grab this pistol, tidy things up nice and clean. AGO, though, when does the desperation set in? When do they start feeling that MDL just creeping up on them?
Mountain Dew taking them. Round 16 now. As we get back into this one, as the push is going to be coming through. Shox looking to try and make a bit of a play, potentially through Monster here, to open this one up.
Just a bit of short control from Shox on his own, but PHR is there. Early contact coming in. PHR is going to have it all to do when they all come out that connector door. And Shox already opening things up. Not the start AGO wanted.
Burst comes in, Jake. They're going to try and overthrow the defense that is pretty much non-existent at this point towards the B site. Furlan brought down fairly low, eliminated in a matter of seconds as well. G2 hot off the presses, playing confident as ever as they are breaking skulls.
Absolutely, and that is just not the start AGO wanted at all. And this could be it, Jack. If AGO don't pick themselves up, we could see just the loss coming straight out. G2 have looked very strong so far on Overpass. AGO just looked pretty lackluster all across the board so far.
it's weird as well because it feels like day by day, even game by game, AGO. That's where the issue lies with them, because the consistency just doesn't translate over. You've already been able to get a map off Space Soldiers today. You go in versus G2, and they really do look quite lifeless.
Yeah. Just not much of a spark, really. Just seems a bit like throw everything we've got at them, see what happens, hope for the best. And it just hasn't worked out so far.
The glaze over the eyes, Jake.
Exactly.
Furlan, PHR, and Grubby that remain now. 3 versus 4 into the round. PHR is going to be hearing the audio cues. Smiths gets detected towards the site, and they're all getting very heavy aggression here. As soon as he spots out there's 2 players, Smith should call this, and they can just go instantly in towards the B site. Go on the gamble. You know you're going to have the advantage. However, Jake, they're going around. They're actually going to fight their way through this.
Yeah, Smiths is poised perfectly, and Existence even bails him out. And it's all left on PHR. It does hear them running around him, but he's stuck between a rock and a hard place. He's going to get smushed any second now. Does actually find body. Somehow he's not traded by Shocks. It's Existence, actually, to pick him off.
There's nothing about that one.
There's not. No. Not at all.
No. Round 18. Finally, the rebuy will come out for AGO, though, as they have the 3 M4s and the 2 silenced M4s there on Grubby and Caper. An awkward distribution of utility, but at least they have some nades.
Yeah. Not ideal.
No kit, and only 1 player with head armor as well. So, Kenny with the Tech
just
9?
Sticking with a Tech 9? Okay. Don't know where his money's gone. But maybe he just wanted the nades? Interesting. But like we said, only 1 player with head armor, so fair enough.
It's not too bad against a Tech 9, I guess. I mean, the Galil as well, it's the same effect there for Smiths. If you're able to just get a couple of taps off, you're probably going to hit the head one of the times, then it's a free frag, so...
Yeah. The Galils also seem to have increased in popularity between the pros in this last sort of 6 months, I'd say. It used to be just hated by everyone, but you see people like Chris J who are just so proficient with it. People may have realised that it's actually not a bad rifle, and Caper just seemed a bit confused there and already taken down from body.
Seems like every pro team has 1 or 2 Galil players that will actually be quite proficient in being confident enough to pick up the weapon, is the other side of things.
Yeah, it gives you so much versatility by being able to buy nades. Spiro doing his best to hold his team on here. 2 big frags. Shocks should be able to catch him off, and he does. Retrieves the bomb as well. 40 seconds left here, and PHR going for a huge play.
Oh, the spray coming through. PHR with a double down, eliminates Smiths and Existence, and it is all on Shocks in a 1-on-3. 30 seconds left on the clock. Makes his move over towards the B site. Peers up and gets the bomb out before he'd even fully cleared up there, Jake, and it doesn't work out well. Death from above from Grubby. 6 rounds difference between either team here. AGO, they are trying to come up close in their tracks, and now they might actually have an opportunity to bridge the gap ever so slightly. G2, what are they going to go for into this round? Will they play it safe? Looks like the buy is going to be coming through. They're going to pump the cash into it. Once again, Kenny not really going to have anything to work with unless Smith drops him something.
Yeah, they were working it out.
Yeah.
Just making sure they all had enough money. Kenny, yes, going for the glass cannon on top of that as well. Ooh, Shocks getting caught out from that boost there. Really nice play, but probably a bit annoyed that they didn't actually get the kill, and
they do now.
Probably a favourable trade. You know, Spiro for a 1 HP Shocks. Kenny S straight back on. I'm going to hope that he can do some more into the round here. However, Smiths just making a bit of noise towards that A site, clearing out toilets, trying to set a bit of a fake, bit of a ruse here. Nice flash peek there. Caper again might be a bit disappointed that he didn't actually get that frag there. But it does look like the hit's coming in towards B. Might just be off Kenny S contact, but lovely flash coming in. But again, they don't capitalise on it. Is this Existence with that trade back straight away? However, G2, they've slowed it right down. Only 35 seconds left, though. The rotations have already come in. So this could get a bit scary for G2 now. As the push comes in, Jack.
Yeah, get ready for it. Revving the engine, foot on the pedal. There goes the early entry as Smiths hits the ignition and eliminates Furlan. Caper as well, going to go down. The sneaky attack there from PHR to try and blow them all to bits, but they will be able to take them down. Body with the follow-up headshot eliminates PHR 13-6, and the reset there for AGO, Jake. So not much cash going forward. This has got to be a 14-6 scoreline, surely. At this point, G2, they look like they're already done with this. They want to move on to Dust 2.
Yeah, they seem just on another level compared to AGO there. Even just going into that B site at the end, lovely flashbang, lovely little execution. Even when PHR made a bit of a play in the pit, everyone just stopped planting, faced him, made sure he died. Just lovely play coming out from G2. They look like a reasonably strong unit coming into Overpass. And again, like you said, no money left on that CT side. USPs all over the board. I wouldn't even be surprised if we see this go 16-6.
It's entirely achievable. At this point, it could happen, Jake, and it wouldn't be too surprising. I mean, AGO with the pistols they're playing with, right? Not really going to have much of a chance to actually do anything going into this. And again, it could be a play towards the B site. The bomb is left behind, so they can recover that on the way through. Two players going to be probing it. It's going to be Shox and Kenny S as the duo to try and take that site control. 55 seconds left on the clock as the contact will actually come through, but this is when the mass rotate will occur.
Yeah, a bit scary for Shox. Wasn't actually able to afford head armor, but neither was Grubby, as Shox rips his head clean off. And the B execute does come in. It's been a clean eco so far. And it looks like they are just going to tidy things up. Nice and easily, body.
Oh,
beautiful shooting there. Someone who gets an awful lot of criticism in this lineup, does body, but always has decent performances. You never see him really struggling at the bottom of the scoreboard, but seems to get overlooked by quite a lot of fans, really.
Yeah, I think he's one of those players that a lot of people will say a lot of harsh words about.
Yeah.
Don't really give him too much of a chance to actually show his worth, and it's unfortunate. There's definitely firepower there.
B-Rush just coming straight in. It's only really Grubby and BHR to defend it.
Oh, the front.
Both blind.
Should be coming through, but they're so just confused, Jake. Everyone was blind.
The trades have come in. Shox and body. They're tidying things up.
Ooh.
Smiths is just hiding somewhere fully white. The other boys run in and clean things up, and AGO they pretty much have to save.
And that's going to be 15-6.
You're only saving a scout and two M4s anyway. Surely the two M4s are fine, but Shapiro has only got a scout to play with. That's going into the last round of the game. They've got to win 9 off the back of that just to take it to overtime. This just does not look doable, Jack.
No, it does not. But the scary factor is as well, I mean, what, this game's lasted maybe 30 minutes?
Yeah, it's gone extremely quickly.
This has probably been one of the quickest games we've had today, by far, considering the length of some of them.
We've had some insanely close games, and this must be just so demoralizing for AGO, who we've said they're playing for their Pro League lives here, and to look so just pathetic, really, against G2 here, it's not what you wanted to see.
It's crazy because we know that they can perform as well. This side has been actually having some pretty good games and potential for upsets here and there. They've been sprinkled in amongst the unfortunate results they've had this season. Is there any chance whatsoever for them? They would need to fight it the whole way out to drag it back to overtime, Jake. It's very, very unlikely. The chances of it are so minuscule. As we get back into round 22 and to kick it off, Shoxy has found himself a tasty meal towards mid. The head of Caper will be claimed, and already they're down to 4 players. This is not looking great for the CT side.
Yeah, Grubby aggressing off B short, but he's only got an MP9 to play with. Not much hope in doing anything really there, and he's been pushed back already. G2, they're just walking out of B. This could be it, Jack.
It very well could be, as the B play is going to be coming through. AGO being tagged up. Everyone's so low, Jake. Grubby on 30 HP, Furlan on 49. They just don't have any sustain to play with here, and Shox gets the backstab off as well towards the A site to take down Sparrow. Grubby will fall. Furlan, he has the additional height, but he won't be giving himself a huge round. He will be going down just like that. Lickety split. G2 will win on Overpass in probably one of the faster games we've had this entire season.
Yeah, just absolute stomp, really, from G2. They looked extremely good as a unit. AGO, they just looked nothing. You know, there was no real innovation coming out. They looked pretty lackluster on their T side, just spread across the map. They won a couple of random rounds, but G2 were happy to give those away. And overall, G2 just looked like a solid team, whereas AGO are just in complete disarray.
Absolutely bizarre there from AGO. Just not really looking like anything we'd seen in recent form. Definitely a dip there. They got a map off of Space Soldiers today as well, and we saw that Space Soldiers side looking huge. Unfortunate stuff, but it will be the win for G2. Moving forth, we'll have Dust 2 as our second map. We'll leave you with the highlights, and we'll see you with that after the break.
ESL Pro League is brought to you in part by Intel, Vodafone, The Road to Odense, Betway, MSI, Logitech G, Pay Safeguard, Mountain Dew League, and ESEA.